Welcome to the Out There channel live stream 41. I've got an echo. Puts you off. Okay, just going to talk about a few things tonight. Easy going. I'll just music, do various checks. I'm still using the new live without the hangouts because it does a better job of the graphics. So I'll just cue some music. Might be a solo night. They made some new graphics up for the logo intro. You may have seen. Good one already. Time flies. Just kill music. Haven't had a chance to really check it all out, but I think it's working. Just load my channel, just check. Yeah. So it says we're live here at the moment. Hopefully the sound's working. Yep, looks like it's good. Already got a tickly throat. It's been a few cold nights lately. It's going to be getting spring and summer. I think that's why a lot of us have cups of drink on their desks. You know, the what's his name, Hex and Hammer. He's always drinking a huge mug of coffee. He does all right for himself, just talking politics. He's got lots of subscribers and they donate to him. Doesn't have to work, and he looks like he's Generation M. So he's pretty young. So, how's everybody out there? Hope you're doing well and watching the skies, and hopefully catches something good to send our way, because there's a lot of rubbish that's being put up. And speaking of which, I just saw something pop up on Third Phase, so just check them out. I'll just go through the usual stuff and see if we can sort of debunk it, because they put up stuff but just talk about it, but they don't it. Hopefully the sound's working all right. So this one here, what just happened over Michigan. So I won't have the sound running, but I'll put captions on. Hopefully the graphics doesn't corrupt. It should be an easy cruisy night, hopefully. You can see already Google was playing up. Captions once. That's if I got them. Yep. So this one here, I recognize that straight away. That was debunked yesterday by Dazza the cameraman. Planet X, or it looks like Mars is in orbit with the Earth, or just behind it. And he does a pretty good debunk on it. Apparently the guy blocked him as soon as he started asking him questions whether he did the finger test. That's not a good indication of truthfulness straight away. So I noticed that the object disappeared when he scrolled there. So let's see if we can pin it ourselves, because I haven't analyzed it. I suppose we need to put it on slow motion. Speed, quarter speed. Basically, if we had something like that coming into our solar system, I think we would notice it worldwide, and it'd be on the TV, and Fox News would be like 24, or CNN would be like 24 hours a day on it. So it's on slow motion now. So let's see if we can spot anything. It looks like it's not as solid as the moon. So it looks like half the brightness, which is always an indication of possibly a reflection. You see here, when he moved, almost looked like we had a double moon then, which kind of makes me wonder if he's filming through a bit of glass on the front of the camera. See that? Where it moved? Which would create a double image through reflection. Reflection. There you go. Still looked like it was there though. It's going back up. What's going on here? It's not very good with the camera work, is he? When you slow it down to slow motion, it doesn't. There's no talking to the camera. And why is he not doing Dazza the cameraman's finger test, where you put your finger up? I'll show you his video anyway, the debunk. So you can see here we're getting a double from the light here. So we're getting lens flare. And there's a lens flare there, or reflection. So we want to just go back, zoom in. So that looks like a light, and also the reflection there. Saying reflection is what you get in here. This is what Dazza the cameraman pointed out. Of course, you only get the reflections through another glass in front if it's a bright light. Of course, they're saying it's a optical lens creating that illusion. So I didn't actually see whether it disappeared when it was moving. So it kind of means that the glass, whatever it's going through, is constant. Well, I was outside tonight and I didn't eat anything around down there. So now they're talking about ancient texts about objects in the sky. So they're showing some examples here, pretty much like camera the Dazza Man shows, showing lens flare. I guess that one's a sun dog, as they call it. Another sun dog, probably. Always seems to be on that certain angle, though. You see that? It could be a bit tricky, I guess. So if we go to Dazza Man's website, he's also a good one for talking about camera problems, artifacts, wherever they can verify footage for you. He's a guy that studies the stars and planets. You know, it gets quite technical and there's the cameraman, not cameraman, the dazza. There you go, it's popped up in the search. So it looks like he's known. So he's got his YouTube channel here. But he's also got another YouTube does exposing frauds because he doesn't want to lose his main channel. Also, he does a good one on the Lunar Wave. I'm not sure if you've seen his stuff, but he debunks it pretty well. Did I pause that one? It's going a bit slow. Yep. So his latest video would be on that one there. This one here that made the newspapers. UK Rag, is it? Yeah, the Sun. So I'll just post his link down the side there. Go and bookmark him. So if you can't get experts that can sort of debunk stuff, you can sort of guess that then it's going to be an unknown. But I think I'd be really worried if a planet was that close to the moon. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Deep Impact. 1989, I think. I'll just get sidetracked on that in a moment. Deep Impact. Which one read or not? It's a bit dated now, but it's still a pretty good movie. Oh, 1998, not 89. Slightly before the days of HD, though. and they still used tapes back then too. This one actually was kind of realistic. What's the other one with? Is it Bruce Willis in it? That sort of. I did a remake of this one. Go and check out the movie anyway. I got a few trailers. I won't play them because I don't want to risk a copyright strike. But basically, have some really good effects in it for the age. The meteorite hits the Earth, causes a bit of damage. But that's really possible. You saw that if you go back to that cigar one, linking off this one, that come into our solar system very quickly. What was it called now? The cigar meteorite. It had a special name. Oh, what's going on? Hey, how's it going? Hey, well, thanks. I've only just sort of started though. Haven't really got into anything deep yet. I was talking about a few video clips on third phase, and trying to see if we can solve them. Meteor. So, you could quite easily see how a meteorite could come into our solar system that's quite big, and wipe out a big chunk of Earth anyway. This one here, I forgot some pictures. Oh, that's the strange name of it there. What is it? Oma. I don't know where they get these names from. But yeah, you can see this one only sort of come into our solar system very quickly, and only hung around for about a week, wasn't it? Now, if that come out the blue, another one come out of blue that we don't know about, and actually come close to Earth, I think we'd be panicking. And they probably wouldn't tell us probably either. But we've got people like Man always looking up, and it will be them probably the first to spot it or leak it out to the public. But Planet X, I don't know. There was a documentary about Planet 9. Remember, they got rid of Pluto. So, but they reckon there's definitely a change in the gravity fields that suggests there's another object that's in a big orbit. Yeah. Well, when we had the quake a few years ago, the big one, it's the first thing I thought about, because it was so large in where I was out in the country. The first one, not the second one that wiped out most of the middle of Christchurch City. But I thought, Jesus, the whole house was going up and down a wave, and everything in the room and walls had been chucked at me in the pitch black. There was no light, the power went. And my torch that I had hanging up for emergency flung off the light. I had it hanging on and flew across the room somewhere, so I had no torch. So when you plan for the best things, it can still go awry. But it's got this strange name here. Bizarre shape interstellar object. How'd you say that? Sounds like an Aborigine name or something, isn't it? Someone that discovered it. Normally they name it after people, don't they? Whereabouts were you again? New Zealand, weren't you? North Island. Is that right? Or have I got the wrong person? Well, they reckon there's a big crater that's out to sea there near Central America, isn't it? They reckon that's where the big one hit and wiped out the dinosaurs. The thing is, they reckon in 4 weeks, I think it is, if the atmosphere, if you block out all the sun that's around Earth, in 4 weeks, all the vegetation on Earth is dead. And then 4 weeks, yeah, and I think months later, animals will be starving and dying. Yep. Didn't you used to have your full name? Jim Mao, wasn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Most people just have their name so they don't get harassed. When you think about it, if you wanted to wipe out a country, all you need to do is send up some rockets into space, connect it onto a meteorite, and send it towards a place like North Korea, and boom, and you got a radiation-free nuclear bomb. And then if you're far enough away from it, you might not care about what damage it causes by the surrounding countries as well, like China and stuff. And you couldn't say it was a natural disaster, couldn't you? So there's all sorts of scenarios and Hollywood movie plots there. But it's always good to talk about these things, and we should always be worried about what the governments are doing. Question either say. But yes, go and check out that movie I was talking about, Deep Impact. It's quite a good one. But it's dated, but it's still a bit better than the modern versions, I think, with their special effects. So Camera Dazzaman here did one on that meteorite debunk. Oh well, not meteorite. The Mars illusion here. Just go back to it. This one here. I'll just paste it down the side. So you got a link directly to that one. Mars debunk or whatever it is. X. But there was a documentary by what's that documentary in America, Nova, and a couple of scientists on there saying that they think there's a planet. They're not calling Planet X, they're just calling it like Planet 9. It's called Planet 9, I think. Go and Google it and see if you can find a stream of it and have a watch. So there's a man here, takes it from a newspaper article, and we'll just skim through it and show you what he does with the finger test, which is quite an interesting way to prove to everybody that's watching that it's actually a solid object in the sky and not just a lens flare or reflection. So here's the same snapshot here. So he goes through and notice similar reflections from lights, which I was talking about. So we'll just skim through it here. So he's noticed the other reflections similar to what we're getting. So it could be in the housing of the camera, or it could be purposely done with another bit of glass in front. Unless you got the real video to deal with, I guess it's a bit hard to analyze it, camera artifacts and stuff. So you can only do so good. So that's why he reached out to the guy, and the guy blocked him. He didn't want it debunked. So here is showing that it's the same angle to what's on the main screen, the street lamp. But you can go and watch that. But he does this finger test, which is quite good. Let's see if I can find a good spot on it. Here you go. You can see here as he moves up that he's doing the side test. See here, when he puts his finger over, depending which way you go, tackle it. It goes completely. You can see as he's moving his finger that it's fading out wherever his finger's blocking out the main light. And if you come from the other side, you can see them. It goes right over the finger. It's to do with the angle and the angle of the reflection or the lens. So he's putting it in, moving the welding goggle around, like acting like another piece of glass, like I was talking about. And if you move the glass, if you don't keep it steady, then it gives it away. So that's passing through. That's creating a spot on the first piece of glass, and you can see here it's even clearer now. So he asked the guy, did he do that at all? And the guy blocked him. But yeah. So if it's in the sky tonight, they should have more videos out, shouldn't they? So it should be an easy debunk. Hey, Renee, how's it going? Well, I don't know if it's aliens and UFOs. Again, we're sort of, sadly, we've got more people putting out junk stuff. So I'm just showing camera dazzaman stuff here. Also, you might have heard of Crow 77 Lunar Wave Business. He does a really good debunk, proving it, that it's actually natural through atmosphere. I don't know if you can find his videos on it. I was meaning to search them before I came on. I was going to do it in a separate live, but you probably can find Lunar Wave. I thought it might be like a meteorite, because they said there's a thin atmosphere on the moon. I think you can find out on Google there. They talk about it. And of course, if you had a meteorite hit the far side of the moon or some explosion, it would create a compression wave that would go around the moon. But it turns out it's actually a lot of something simpler. And it's to do with planes, basically. And trickery, I guess. Or maybe not having two cameras film it at the same time to prove it, you know. So we'll copy the link and paste it down here. I think that was the best one that he did. You don't often get to see debunks that actually sort of destroy someone's channel of videos in one go. But Camera dazzaman does a pretty good job. I know I sort of got sidetracked here, but it's quite a good one. If YouTube will give us enough bandwidth. I'm using them on Hangouts, so it should go a bit better. I guess he does a lot of talking though. So I'm not too sure where the good point is going to be. Move it on a bit. I think you might just have to watch it yourselves, the debunk anyway. Sometimes it's really hard to see the lunar wave unless it's zoomed. He's talking about full screen here, so I'm not sure if he's filming it himself. I think he might be. Looks like it's corrupting a bit on the screen here, though. Looks like he's putting his finger. Looks like it might be his own camera that he's showing here. So he's showing there that there's some disturbance in the air that causes this strange thing. Almost looks like an explosion on the moon, doesn't it? All right, it's a plane, not his finger. It was a plane coming over the moon, and he's showing that the contrails are corrupting the image. But when the plane goes far enough, he shows you as the plane passes far enough away, you get the lunar wave effect. I know it's here somewhere, but you just have to go through it. This shows the atmosphere. If you're filming from the ground and not in space, the atmosphere does get in the way. Well, there you go. You can see the plane coming. So you had a contrail there, and I suppose as it expands, I think he shows it on screen here, you can see the lunar wave. See that? So he just debunked it there. Had exactly the same effect. Let's see, where is it again? There it comes. See the plane exhaust coming down this way. And there it goes. It creates a lunar wave going across. Exactly the same as Crow 77. It's a good debunk. So yeah, that's a sidetrack on that one anyway. So let's move on. Thanks for doing the thumb up, Jamal, anyway. The more thumbs ups or even downs helps Google decide whether to feature it on the side ads. At the moment, I think Google featured 20% off my views for the month, which is pretty low. You'd think it that would help out a bit better. What I think what they need is like categories, one like UFOs, where it features all the new videos for the week that into that category. Then everyone would get exposure. And then have one for, well, maybe you select what category it goes in, but you could have one for Earth mysteries, UFOs, what else? Paranormal, and any other subject you can think about. Science. Sometimes it's hard to categorize mine because they sort of do a wee bit of lots of things. I do paranormal, I do science, I do science theory, I should say, and I do debunks, and then they do little documentaries as well, which sort of ties together things. So yeah, I got a bit of, but at the moment I'm just doing lives because it's a lot easier for me to do. Thanks, mate. I am the most hated UFO channel out there, as you know, because as you know, debunking is a bit of a buzzkill, as they call it, and there's not much you can do about it. We can't actually get to the truth of UFOs if we're forever flooded with viral videos which are not actually UFOs, but yep, at least someone's doing it. Even if I'm not going to get rich doing it, like all these other big UFO channels are getting rich by using fantasy. But as you saw on my opening, I got a new graphic for truth. So here's this one again. No, this one is a new one, the Michigan one, I think. Yeah, so I'll just play it from there on. I'm not sure if they got a link to the original one or not, which would be. Can't see it there. Is that the one? Michigan, could be. But we'll just go with this anyway for the time being. Let's just zoom in and play it and have a look and see what you think. Now, they're saying it's drones, and I agree with them. So it's good that they're not saying it's UFOs, this one. We got it on slow speed, I think. So we'll just put it back up to normal speed. All right. And let's zoom in and watch it a wee bit better. You get too high up, just above the building, some of them. But they're obviously off in the distance, so if you translated, it's still not going to be super high. Which probably complies with FAA rules. You can fly your drone below a certain level, as long as you keep it there. So this sort of stuff now will probably be fooling a lot of people, and there'll probably be more videos coming out tomorrow, tonight. But you can see that they were changing colors there. Hang on, what's happened? It looks like it's 3D rotating now. It's definitely a drone, 100% drone. But we'll see if we can do some research and pin it. I'm not sure how long they can fly drones for now. Is it 30 minutes? I know the battery tech's getting better and better all the time, and they're getting bigger as well. Bigger drones. I kind of I'd like to watch that, but we don't have anything like that. So they're sort of replacing, so pause it there because all there was. We don't have, they're sort of replacing those with fireworks now, using aerial drone displays. So if you got, they're talking about, the company's talking about having 300 of them and synchronized. Imagine what you could do with that. That'd be pretty exciting to go and watch. I talked about that live stream last time. I just think it's just a gap in the cloud, and it's just lighting up the outer edge of the cloud, and because it's a low res video, it formed a sort of, it looks like a solid shape when it's not. But I wouldn't rule out that it's a normal lightning storm that someone sort of had to play with in Photoshop and sort of added some extra effects to it. So I wouldn't rule that out. As CGI adjustments can be very hard to pin. As you know from the sci-fis that you now watch, the FX is incredible. And even stuff available now for home is what they used to have back 20 years ago, is still pretty good. So anyway, we want to type, search for drones. Got a search come up here. I just want to get rid of September. There's probably more stuff coming out while I've been talking, actually. Yep. Looks like Michigan has had similar lights in the past, April this year. So it's good backup there that there's going to be a company that do regular events. And you can say here, this one was debunked back in April. Drone show. But we want to see if there's anything about tonight. Drone lights. You just got to get the right keywords, I guess, to pin it. Let's see. Drones. Just type in about the year number. You can see it's come up with 8 million results on that. That one's slightly less, 2 million results. Of course, I think Google mucks around with search algorithms a bit as well. So we're getting a lot of the April ones. Now, I kind of recall it was called a fair event fair. How do you spell that? Fairgrounds. Michigan Fair seems to ring a bell. Oh, here you go. This is even back in July. State fair. So they've got a state fairground there. Includes nightly drones show. So if it's open all year round, it's going to be the most common one seen. So the person filming that should have known it was a drone thing. So we want to sort of narrow down the time to see if it's going currently. And what can we do? Tools, time, past hour, see if there's anything popped up. Probably past hours. We really want to past 8 hours, don't we? But we only got 24 hours, which isn't really good enough. Oh, here we go. 14 hours ago. When was the one put up? It's had 2,000 views already. So it was published tonight at some stage anyway. So within that time, and it says here, nightfall, a new synchronized drone light show was again expected. So if we go to that page, so stuff is what third phase should be doing. I shouldn't have to be debunking theirs. They should be doing it themselves. Even though they said it, they didn't prove it. That's my problem with third phase. If they're meant to be changing, they've got to do better still. Now we've got to do better as a UFO community to get rid of the noise. What are you saying there? Yeah, I think we all do want to see aliens, but we're not getting any. So what's going on? Is that a pop-up? Michigan State Fair. No, it's not a pop-up. So what's it say down here? It's got a lot of small writing. I'll just zoom in, have a read. There we go. There was yelps from the rock and roll canine stunt dogs. This kind of sounds interesting. And horses. Nightfall, a new synchronized drone light show was again expected to take to the skies above. So that's all they say about it, and there's no pictures. And this was 14 hours ago. So it sort of fits, doesn't it? So it's at the state fair again. Just like the last time that a lot of viral UFO videos went. So I'm not too sure if I need to debunk that anymore, unless you guys still don't think it is. There's one here talking about Florida 6 hours ago, which is something different by looks of it. Very bright lights coming straight. Spotted over mid. Oh no, looks like it's got. Let's have a look. Since we're here. Oh, look at that fine print. Looks like it's like a spam page where it scams stuff from all over the web and puts it onto one big page so it can, God knows what, infect your machine with spyware. I don't know. So that's not very handy, is it? But I think we'll sort of debunk that one anyway. I don't know if there's any videos. Let's have a look. People might have videos from it. So even the police are now using drones for surveillance. I guess it's like police helicopters that do chases. They could now do it with drones, couldn't they? Be a lot more cost effective. Yeah, totally debunked. But there still be people who believe that it's a cover-up or something. There's a company in Michigan that does them, and I'll see if I can find the page in a minute, because it doesn't look like there's anything on that page in the last 24 hours showing this light show from that fair anyway. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything there. But if we have a look at, try and find that company, what's it called? Fly Dragon or something in Michigan? Fly Dragon or something? Fly. Seeing what was coming up in the pop-up. Fly Dragon. Fly Dragon. Something like that. Let's see if we can find it. It's probably not going to be spelt that way then, because it hasn't come up. I'll just try Fly then. What's it called? I've come across it before, and they've actually got some interesting videos on their page, which if I can find it. I'm sure Google mucks around with the search results. Perhaps it needs to be drones. Maybe. Do you know what it was called? Yeah, there's a lot of gullible people, but also there's a lot of new UFO channels popping up everywhere that's sort of repeating lights in the sky and just not trying to debunk it or trying to sway away from it being flares, which is probably what I'm going to cover next as well. But I just want to find this company. Maybe drones. Drones, Michigan company, maybe. Just have to have the right keywords now with Google to sort of narrow it down. It's not that one. Perhaps it's flying dragons. That's what it's flying dragons. Sure, it's flying something. No. There's a company that's set up specially for it anyway. Sounds like a good way to make money. Still not popping out what it was. I'm sure I clicked on it earlier. Perhaps you can get it with images. Sometimes it's best to find an image of a display and then hasn't narrowed it down, has it? Drones, Michigan show, maybe. We'll get it in a minute. Aha, I think that's some here. Michigan company puts, that's the one. Firefly. I knew it had fly in it. So let's go and visit that one. Takes a bit load time to load the page if I remember right. So there you go. Michigan company puts on FAA approved drone light shows, and it's called Firefly. So there should be a link. We're going to get some pop-ups. Should be a link to their site somewhere here. Firefly Drone Shows company expanding its fleet to 200 custom-built drones. I thought they expanded it to 300 actually. I'll post a link to that article anyway so you can have a read. But their website has got some cool graphics on it. So go here. And this will take a while. So it's called fireflydroneshow.com, which took us ages to find. So it loads slow, but once it gets going, it's quite good. You can see how they've programmed it, and it looks similar to that fairground one. So it's probably them maybe hired for the event, or maybe they bought their own. No, but it looks very similar once it loads. Probably need to zoom out a bit. Here you go, look. 3-dimensional, and they change colors. Like I said, it takes a wee while to load all the graphics and background, and then it sort of works. There we go. Now, how many fake UFO channels would be saying, oh, I don't know, I think that's aliens. It's still not loading very fast. Here we go. You can see the 3D effect almost. Now let's switch to another snapshot. I'll zoom back out. Hey. I was trying to zoom out. I'm not sure what pattern that's trying to be. It looks like a flower, maybe. Come on, go a bit faster. Here we go. I'll zoom out again. It's just going a bit slow. I think it might be a video that they're trying to play. But they got various patterns that come up. What's that one? Was that a musical note, perhaps? Going around. Hey. I like that. I like this arty type stuff. Now look, I could sort of watch that all night long, I think. So if they had so many drones, like 200, they could have some on charge, right? And as soon as these ones get low in battery, they could bring up the new ones in the sky while those ones drop down and charge, and it could be going all night long. I'm surprised casinos are not using it. No, they could be. The more drones you got, the more like it's like a big screen. You could be using it for advertising. Jackpot, $1 million coming to a casino. Looks like it's going to be Arrow, that one. Oh. Anyway, they got various patterns there, but yeah, it's not loading very fast on my computer. Oh, that's pretty good. So they're saying they're custom built. So I wonder how much they cost each then. Hey, one's coming up from the ground. Yeah, anyway, I could watch that stuff forever. I'm surprised they haven't got it on YouTube as like a nice video you can play and it's constant. Oh, that's the first one we looked at, the flower. Yeah, it's opening up. It's definitely 3D. You can see it's all like 3D. There you go. Look, you can see the 3D effect now. That's really cool. I want to see an alien head, them to do an alien head in the sky. Anyway, enough on that one, I guess. Totally debunked anyway, that Michigan one. It's starting to play a bit better now. There we go. Anyway, close it down. Post the link there if you want to bookmark it and have a watch or whatever. Yeah, I reckon a lot of people that put them up as UFO videos would know that it's a drone. So if you put up a video and say, "Oh, what's this UFO's over Michigan?" you're going to get a lot of people click on it, aren't you? So, but if you say this is the aerial display at the fair, that's another thing. The other thing is, in this video, you see people walking past. They're not even looking at the sky. You see people walking past all the time, and you know it's something they've seen every night. Yeah. Where's the start of it? If you watch carefully, you can see people walking past and not even paying any attention to it. So that looks very similar to what we just watched on that advertising page for that company. So look, these people are just walking past. If that was a UFO in the sky, they'd be looking up. So did this person send it to them, or did they hunt it out, is the question. Or did some other UFO fan send the link to that video and ask them for permission to use it? I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of telltales there. Well, it's not an alien invasion. So this one, they're back onto this flares one. After looking at the evidence, the military called them as flares. This one here. What is that one? One of the 9 bright lights in the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 by the looks of it. They're still saying they're on the fence that these are military flares. You can see by the brightness, I'll go over it in a minute, but you can see these are going to be illumination by the brightness. They do have different ones. You know why they're saying they're on the fence? It's because a lot of their fans are like sheeple, and they don't like people that debunk it. They like people to sort of feed their fantasy that this is definitely UFOs pretending to be flares or something, when it's already been reported in August that the military were going to do various exercises. Still, we end up with UFO videos. As you can see, people filmed it from different distances and angles. And of course, one of the claims is that you can't see smoke. Well, it depends how close you are, So, yeah. So they're still trying to push aliens. So what I'll talk about is flares themselves, because it needs to be. We need to have the clues to working it out for yourself what you're seeing. There's what we call telltales. When you look at certain videos, there's always telltales that tells you whether it's going to be a balloon, Chinese lanterns, airplane lights, or flares, military flares. So, normally, as we know, flip them down. I'll just do a little diagram to try and explain it. Where's my cursor gone? There it is. No. Can't quite see it. What's happened to it? Oh, there it is. I think that's the maximum size too. And I have to see if I can make it a bit bigger sometimes on this presentation, because it's annoying being so small. So we want probably a globe to represent a flare. Thickness, try that size. So when a flare happens, I'll draw them bigger so they look like UFOs. They normally drop always at certain distance apart and always sort of in a straight line. Depends, because if they're releasing them pretty quick behind the plane, they're always going to release 2 or more. Now, why do they release flares? They've got ones called for missiles, heat-seeking missiles, to deter heat-seeking missiles. So you want to, they have little parachutes on too. How can we draw those? But they normally have little parachutes coming up that you don't see. Oh, it's got detached, that one. And I'll get off the edge of the screen. But anyway, you get what I mean. They have little parachutes that slow the descent down. And they have red ones and white ones, I think it is. And the red ones have a shorter burn time. So you got the red ones. So they have a burn time of about 20 to 30 seconds max. So what you can do is when you see the video with a light that appears initially, count how many seconds it's on the screen. If it goes out after 20 seconds or less, and it's red, you know it's going to be a military flare. But the white ones, I believe, are still the longest burning ones, the white colored ones. They're called illumination flares. They have a burn time of 5 minutes. They can be up there as long as the parachutes slow the descent long enough before it hits the ground. So they're like illumination. So if you got a video of these lights in the sky and it lasts more than 5 minutes, then you can say they're not flares. So we're talking about telltales, the tell signs. Of course, people in San Diego see this all the time. They got a lot of Arizona, they got the Proven, and we got Texas, and also there. They get a lot of these sightings, and you've also got Nevada that do a lot, and then you got the coast. So why do they want illumination? Because they want to drop it low across like a sea to light up ships. Also, they use it to light up drug smuggling boats, so the other ships can lock on. So they know you can see where the location in the sky is, so you can head towards it for starters, and also it lights up the sea. So it's like having those bright white LEDs pretty much. And these ones here, the red ones, I think they might be heat-seeking missiles. So if they drop it behind the plane and the missile's coming after them, then it's going to lock on with the infrared onto the red ones and sort of detonate as it hits. But we can verify this by, again, using Google. So often what you get with UFO channels, they put up the lights, not when they first appear, but maybe a minute or two into the scene, and you'll start to see them slowly blink out. And you'll see that no video goes on off the same scene more than 5 minutes. You often see them cut and then start filming when they got another drop going on. Also, but there's not. But the Phoenix lights is a good example where you always got to be skeptical as well. So there was definitely a huge craft that flew over. People saw it, blocked out the stars and all that, right? So that's, no one seemed to catch it on video, unfortunately. But everybody caught the flare drops that happened in the second event, which fooled everybody to start with, until you started mapping it with the mountain range. They were dropping it behind the mountain range, and where the cameras were, they were in front of the mountain range. So the lights went off, not in the order they were dropped, because normally the first one will go out first. You see them sort of going off in the middle, and then to the left, and then to the right. That's because they weren't actually going out. The illumination flares were slowly dropping behind the mountain range, and it looked like they were going out. So that sort of fooled a few people, saying it wasn't military flares because it wasn't going out in the same order that they were coming on. And I reckon that was like a cover-up by the government to have a cover story for the real event, which happened before, where it flew from, was it Nevada, all the way down and over Phoenix. So yeah, that's quite a good one. So if we type in flare burn time, or military flare, parachutes, they've got called parachute flare burn time. From this, and the wiki's brought up handheld ones, which burn for at least a minute. Aerial flares burn at least 40 seconds with 30,000 candela. So that's not the same as military flares. But you can see the burn times are very short there, even on that. So we want military. Again, we've got to use the right words to get the information that we're after. Okay. I understand that they're bringing out some handheld flares that actually use LED lights now, because they've got them so bright now, and they last up to 5 hours internal battery. 40-second burn time there. But I believe the longest time is 5 minutes. Right, yes, these ones here. They call them LUU2 flare dumb bombs. Has a burn time approximately 5 minutes. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in. There you go. So really, you can say that they've got the UFO video, which I believe those ones that have been making the rounds at the moment. I don't believe any of those lights stayed on more than 5 minutes. If you have to go through and actually watch the video and the start and end time. So is there a good one that we can watch just to prove that? So let's have a look. See if we can get a video of these lights. San Diego UFO. Start to Google will probably work it out though. It's got SpaceX here. UFO. August, I suppose. August 18. videos, see what we can find. There's probably going to be a heap. Well, 4 days ago, Huffington Post. I wonder what they're saying about it. That looks like the same thing, isn't it? 4 days ago. So here, if you're close enough, you can actually see the smoke from them, and you can see that the plane's going this way, and these are dropping, and then the parachutes open. Now let's have a look at that one anyway. I know it's quite boring. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be a video. Oh, it says news video, news clip. I wonder if it's worth risking playing it for copyright. See, that's the problem with context ID copyright system. It's sort of, even though it's fair use, it puts you on the back foot all the time because of the big companies. And it just bounces back and forth until Google finally steps in and says, yep, it's definitely fair use, because the big companies are always trying to claim it as theirs. But we really wanted a video where we can see the first or one of the lights and then count how many seconds it stays lit before it goes out. So they're just going to show clips by looks of it. We want the original. So that's not going to help us. Perhaps we need to search for a 15-minute video here. So let's have a look at this one. 3 days ago. This is another hoax as well. If you have a look at all his videos, it's just rubbish. Doesn't do any debunking. So there's the lights here. But can we see when it starts? And we'll count from the counter on the bottom here. So he's already started filming from where they've been lit up. So, here we go. We've got one just popping up now. So that was at the 1 minute mark. So that should go out in time. So 6 minutes. So these ones are already going out. See that? You can see a plane flashing light up here. Obviously, the plane that was dropping it. So these ones are all going out now. Classic sign of flares, right? These were dropped 1 minute ago, and they should go out under 5 minutes anyway. Unless he stops the video, of course. What's happened there? It looks like it's changed color. Yeah. See, notice he killed the video before they disappeared, so we can't count it. So that wasn't even a minute. So suspect straight away. Is it still playing? I think it's the same video again, isn't it? You can see they look like they're sort of blinking as well, like Christmas lights. which you get when you got a flame happening. And it looks to me like they're slowly dropping. I bet if you could stabilize the footage and put a straight line on the first frame, they'll probably finish up down here before they go out. That's why you got to do proper video analysis on it. But just simply counting the time, see, that looks like a plane light up there, just going out of range. There we are, back to the same video. This goes to show that they can turn off all their lights on these fighter jets, so they're not visible. So that was, he's going to chop it again. 6:40. One just went out then, didn't it? Didn't even last 5 minutes. Oh look, both gone out. Well, almost gone out. Yeah, he lost focus on it. Still there. How's it going? 16:45. So I'm not sure if he was the source of this video recording or not, or he got it off someone else. Where are they gone? So technically they could burn to, if it was at 16:40, 5 minutes should make it 21:40. If they last longer than that, then they're not flares. But it looks like it's fading out already. Actually, I was looking at the wrong place. I suppose what we can do is we can sort of pause it and flip it. So where did they first start up? I was looking at the wrong side of the tie. Four minutes. There we go. Just before 3:50. Just showing up there now. So it should go to, if it goes past 9 minutes in, we know they're not flares. Looks like he's got rid of it again. So it doesn't even go to 9 minutes. So that's a good way to really hide things. Just keeps repeating the same video. I don't know why. To drag out 16 over 10 minutes, I suppose you can put more ads in. And what do we got here? Source, Mexican, filmed in looks to me like he didn't film it himself. He's just taking it from somewhere else. So 3 people's videos, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 people. But no one's filmed it for more than 5 minutes in a row. We'll just skim through it anyway while we're here. Sorry, have we got someone new here or not? Did I miss someone? I didn't see anyone new on the site here. Is it? Oh, right, Sol. Hey, Sol. Haven't seen you here before, don't think. So if we go through, let's see what else is in here. See, anyone could film lights in the sky and say it's UFO and just put up on their channel all the time, and people will suck it up. I notice it hasn't got any captions down here either. See that? He's turned it off. I wonder why he's done that. That's kind of suspicious. So these ones look definitely smoky. Look at that. You can see the smoke coming off them. So that's a debunk straight away. It's lighting up all the smoke. So someone's managed to get a different angle on it, or a different location. And he's not very still. If you're on a balcony, wouldn't you have it on a tripod? And I don't know if that's the same shot. And they look a different color there. They're not red, and they're white. Out of focus. Again, none of them last long enough to count how long one starts lit from. But that's what I'm trying to get at. And we've got another one here, is it? Just above the houses. Can't keep it still, as you can see. And we're getting long exposure motion blur happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 again. We would know those were real aliens, though, wouldn't we? Because they would simply shoot upwards in the sky and at impossible speeds. They wouldn't just hang there and sort of just dim out, if you know what I mean. All the people, my friends and family that have seen the classic silver ones hanging in the sky, have always shot up directly upwards at lightning speed, which would kill the people inside if they were humans. So, unfortunately, these people never got it on camera. In fact, the guy that told me this has simply died a couple of days ago, actually, age 84. So, we know the real ones are out there, but these aren't it. But you can find a lot of flare videos, military flare videos online, where you can sort of compare it to. There's also handheld parachute ones you can get that fire from your hand, and I think they only stay lit probably 10 seconds or less. They're sort of cheapy ones. Military flares at night. So honest people have put up videos with the proper captions, and they're the kind of people we need, because we can use them for examples for comparison. So there you go. You can see That one looks like it was a handheld one fired from the ground, and it comes down and then lets the parachute out. I think there's a parachute we can see there, was it? Could be a parachute there. But they weren't dropped from a plane, those ones. Yeah, that's interesting. Was that shooting bullets with what they call it, tracer rounds? Not shooting bullets there. Can't see the planes. It's quite interesting, and you really want one that drops it in a straight line like we're seeing. Military flares, not UFO. So here's another honest guy from 2008. You can see it's a 4:3 camera by the looks of it. Well, this one looks like it's dropping it roughly in a straight line. You can see his video doesn't even go on 5 minutes, so these ones ain't going to be lit up too long. So where's it disappeared to? Look how long that one lasted. So that was dropping now. Went out already. Was that 10 seconds? So depends what kind of flares they're dropping, of course. But you won't find one that lasts more than 5 minutes. Unless they're really, really new technology and they're not using burn material, I guess, chemicals. Because LED technology is getting pretty good now and pretty cheap to make and disposable. But the thing is, the problem with LEDs, you don't get the heat. And obviously planes need the heat ones to attract the heat-seeking missiles. Still not the best video there. We want one that where you can see a whole trail being dropped. I'm sure there's one out there somewhere. Yep, sorry, I haven't caught up with the chat on the side. Yeah. Well, I actually featured one from UK, a real one, which sounded like a real case from UK, and it was spotted by a journalist. And I tried to debunk it, and I couldn't. And so it sounds like it's a real sighting of a UFO. And there were other sightings in the area days and days after and before it in the exact same area. So it does sound like it could be a real craft. Why it was in a paddock, I don't know. But he said it was sort of going towards the ground when he saw it. But on that live stream, I talked about possibly that it could have been related to UFO Day, which happened a month prior. They may have been packing up some sort of a light system that was shaped like a UFO, but it's only a guess. And unless we can actually find information to rule that out, we can't say conclusively that it was an alien UFO because it didn't actually travel at impossible speeds when he saw it. It was sort of coming down. And he said it was UFO shaped and it had two bright panels underneath, which kind of made me a bit suspect because when you have a UFO propped for like a festival, normally they have great big panels of lights underneath to light it up. So, it could be real, it could be still explained away. on that one. But I'm still hoping to get Earl from MUFON to come on and talk about some more interesting cases when he's not so tired out from his regular work. Anyway, so what's this one here? 2012. So yeah, if you come across a video where you see the light first come on and it exceeds 5 minutes and people said it was flares, let me know. So they're firing them off from the ground here, by the looks of it. And then it lights off. So these are ground flares, and I don't think they've got parachutes on. Look how... So they didn't last very long at all. What was that, about 10 seconds ago? That one almost makes the ground. Wasn't even 5 seconds, I don't think. That's the handheld ones. The other one is Chinese lanterns, I was going to cover as well. I'll just close that down. We got ones with the Chinese lanterns. It's like they're similar, the Chinese lanterns. They can burn obviously a lot longer than 5 minutes, and they're quite big. They're big as a human. See if we can find a video of Chinese lanterns. You can see how bright they are in these videos here. And look how big that is. Looks like these guys are dropped off. Okay, good on you. Nothing really special. Yeah, that's what a lot of people say. You know, you can write it off. But if it was the size of a football field, I think you'd want to get your camera out and start filming it. But the smartphones are really rubbish, though. You want to get a better camera for nighttime, like those. Is it Nikon with the 50 plus zoom, optical zoom? You don't want to use digital zoom, as I've explained in the past, because that's like zooming in, like I do on here with the graphics, pixel level. So let's just skim this one. Here they are lighting it now. They've got to be careful because it's made from paper, so they can catch fire just like a normal hot air balloon. And you've got to wait till it heats up, and then it starts lifting up. I'll just play it from there, I guess. Oh, it's going to catch fire. How big it is. But it's got that flickering glow to it. And if you see that UFO video, I talked about one a couple of nights ago, I think it was. It had this sort of flickering, like a candle. You can see it takes a wee while to warm up to be able to start lifting on its own weight. And I get a few views on this one, 45,000. It's going to lift now. Of course, we know it's now banned in 29 states, but Texas was one place that they allow it to happen. So once it gets enough heat, it goes up pretty quick. You see that? So yeah, it's a good demo. And you got this one here with the Chinese. They have their yearly festivals. And I think this one's been shown on Darren Crapos. Look at this. This is crazy. You wouldn't let that off when you got fire risk in the country. A lot of people would lose their homes. But as I was talking, was it last live stream or one before, that Shag Harbour was, they reckon that may have been sky lanterns that someone let off illegally because it caused so much damage and call outs that they're too scared to come clean on it, so they've stayed silent. But again, it might be like the Phoenix Lights where you have two events happen on the same night and you can never rule it out completely when someone says that's not what I saw and blah blah blah. So you always have to be critical of those ones, that it could be two things or three things that happens in the same night. Like you get Chinese lanterns go up, and then you might have a real UFO come crash into the sea, say, and then you might have military jets come along and drop some flares just to cover up something. So yeah. So what are the tell signs of Chinese lanterns? Well, maybe the color of them, because they're normally yellow. Travel really slowly, and when the candle burns out, of course, it sort of flickers off. Again, if you saw that in the sky and it sort of blinked out, it didn't zoom off, I would say that it's probably man-made and not alien tech. I suppose we could find out here how long Chinese lanterns stay lit for. I'm not too sure. I suppose it could be maximum time. There you go. So they're like flares as well, but they can go up to 10 minutes. Skylets can reach heights between 200 meters and 500 meters. So again, there's a telltale sign. Once you know the characteristics, if the UFO is below 500 meters, it could be a Chinese lantern, and after 10 minutes. And I think that video I looked at, I think his videos didn't even go for 5 minutes. So, and they started blinking out. But again, it wasn't continuous video he did. He put up 2 videos on MoveOn, which is kind of annoying because you really want to continue. You want to keep filming until the UFO or whatever, the light disappears, and then you got something you can analyze. Do they flight cause fires? Of course they do. Making a fire hazard. That's why they're banned. That's why they're now being replaced by those drones that were showing earlier, the drone display, which is quite amazing. So if you come on past that, go back and have a watch of what we were showing. Floating lanterns safe. Their safety cannot be guaranteed. I suppose if it catches fire and you're holding it, you could burn yourself. They're biodegradable. Well, they're made from paper, I guess. So there you go. They're saying that's untrue. They are often marketed as biodegradable, earth-friendly, but untrue. Sky lanterns are made from treated paper, wires, or bamboo ring. Sky lanterns have caused huge structure fires. It's burnt down buildings and wildfires. So there you go. So we found out something new on sky lanterns there, namely this bit here. So if you know if it's a light that stays lit for longer than 10 minutes, it's not a flare and not a Chinese lantern. So we're talking about this company here earlier, about the drones. Talking about this third phase of the moon video. So yeah, I think we debunked most of this tonight. Because they were claiming the military flares weren't actually military flares. Because that only makes people unsub, as you know, just looking at my channel. But doesn't mean I won't show you real UFOs if I come across one. And real UFO stories, because I have in the past shown stuff that I think is legit. Mojos, I'm still 50-50 on. But if it's real footage, if you haven't seen that footage, it certainly would answer a lot of stuff. It sort of fits with alien greys, because we see one in the video. So if he hoaxed it, he did a good job. But even that footage was like from a 20-year-old camera. So you could imagine what you could do if you had one of these Survivor Man cameras that will cost about $10,000-$20,000 to buy. That do 4K. Also, you can get ones with low light, and also you can get those night vision ones, and full spectrum, pretty good. So yeah, I wasn't really going to do much more than that actually. Drought, yeah. In Canterbury, it certainly set the whole place on fire. So I haven't seen any sky lanterns in New Zealand. In Australia, you definitely wouldn't see them. You could burn Australia down to the ground. It's that dry. So I'm just going to have a look at security. I don't think that he's put out anything tonight, has he? Just got to see what's being put out there by various channels. What's he got here? Ghost ship. So what's that got to do with UFOs? I suppose talking about Bermuda Triangle, no doubt. Appears after 9 years. I think isn't that the ship that they believe got raided by sea pirates, and of course they got cleaned out or driven to another place and unloaded, and then they just set it adrift. That's my guess, anyway. I don't think it's any mystery. What area was the ship in? Does it say? South China, was it? There's a report here, so let's go to the report. Bypass him. He's probably still playing though. Hang on. As you know, a lot of ships get pirated. cargo ships, and they're holding for ransom, of course. I thought I paused it. No, they come up with these speedboats along the outside at night time, and they throw like these wooden ladders over the side and climb up with AK-47s and sort of take over the crew cabin and then pilot it away to another location where another ship can unload it or whatever. How'd you say that? Navy finds answers. So why is it a mystery if they find the answers then? So what does it say here? I don't know why this is on a UFO channel though. Investigating ghost ship found mysteriously drifting Yangon region this week have found the answers to its fate. The large, empty, rusty container vessel has been discovered by fishermen off how do you say that word? I get it in pronouncing names here. Navy now say the freighter was being towed by a tugboat headed to a ship break-in factory. Well, there you go. That's why it's got no cargo. So that's another reason. However, the crew abandoned the ship after being caught in a bad weather. So why has he put that one up? It's been solved. Right? The solution's there. So has he turned it into fake news, has he? So what's he saying on the video? What's it going to play? So what's he saying about it? Its crew have totally gone missing. He knows why they've gone missing. It says on the article he posted. As they're going 9 long years, this massive ship apparently floating in the sea has not only, but has been basically non-existent. Well, the ocean's pretty big, as we know. And there's no reason why a ship that size couldn't be floating around the sea forever until it hits and crashes into a shoreline somewhere. Went missing in South Sea off the coast. So I don't understand what he's getting at here. Wouldn't you simply take it out to deep sea ocean and here we go, Bermuda Triangle. So he's turning it into a conspiracy. If you had a ship like that was in a storm and you wanted to get off it, you simply just throw a big anchor over the side and try and anchor it, then get in other boats and get away from it. The Bermuda Triangle has been sort of tested on various documentaries I've seen. A lot of it says to do with this bubbling action that happens when like a pocket of gas releases from the ocean bed through what do you call it, shellfish and the bacteria chewing on debris on the bottom of the sea, and then it causes methane gas to suddenly erupt from the mud below, and it makes it, if you bubble any water, it makes it less buoyant, and the ships simply just sink. There's a lot of documentaries that show how it happens, and they've experimented with it. What I want to know is what that USO that was found in the Bermuda Triangle region, where was it now? Some island. Can't remember what the island was now. So yeah, it's not unusual for ships to go missing, as you saw on that gold hunting show. All the ships seem to crash on the same reef, going through the same dangerous canal, and if you get in the right storm conditions, it could blow you off course into the reef, and then you get sunk. And then you get storms over the years that drags the wreckage under the sea into deeper locations and splits it apart. What was the show called now? Cooper's Treasure. Cooper's Treasure. It's a good series. Go and watch it if you've not seen it. Also, there's a thing called freak waves. Let's have a look. They now know a lot of freak waves happen at the bottom of South Africa. I remember reading about it a couple of years ago. And originally they built ships because they used science to determine the biggest wavelength of water. And so you got freak waves. There's actually a real event. And now it can be like 20 stories high or something like that. And a lot of these shipping containers are loaded up with cargo up to that height. And it goes over it and washes off the cargo, and also can tip the freighter over and sink it because it's metal after all. Freak waves. See what we can find out. Rogue wave, and they call it as well. The looks of it. What if it tells us the height? But they reckon there's certain areas where it happens, and that's South America and I think Africa, South Africa, which is where a lot of ships go disappearing in storms there. And I reckon it's because of freak waves. So what do we got here? A 39-foot wave in the usual linear model would have a break-in pressure of 6 metric tons per square meter, although modern ships are designed to tolerate a break-in wave of 15 tons, 21 psi, so that's triple. A rogue wave can dwarf both those figures with a break-in pressure of 100 tons per metric meter. So that would sort of buckle and snap the ship in half. 140 psi. So they're now starting to see these on satellites, I believe, the rogue waves, and they've got special. So they're starting to analyze this now, and they might have to rethink how they build ships and make them strong enough to withstand that sort of pressure, which is quite amazing. Rogue waves are not necessarily the biggest waves found on the water. They are rather unusually large waves for a given sea state. Rogue waves seem not to have a single distinct cause, but occur when physical factors such as high winds and strong currents cause waves to merge to create a single exceptionally large wave. Oh, there you go. That's on the wiki. But as you know, you can have out-of-date information and have some incorrect information. So it's always best just to search around other science websites to back up the claims, of course. But I believe it was South Africa. I think there's quite a lot of ships going missing. Freak waves. South Africa. See what we can find. Sort of off the UFO topic at the moment, but it's still interesting, I guess. My channel's not just on UFOs, that's why it's called the Out There channel. I'm not too sure what secure team is actually meant to mean. It's kind of a strange name to have for a channel, don't you think? You think he might be in security, but no. Security, what's that mean? I don't know how they got their name from. Why didn't he call it the UFO team? That would make more sense, wouldn't it? List of road waves. And it's talking about South Africa here. Let's have a look. I see there was a PDF there on a science page as well. So what's this chart over here? Single giant wave on New Year's Day 1995 finally confirmed the existence of freight waves. So that's the first one that they verified. Didn't that one go over the oil platform? Washed over it. So what's that saying there? Number of meters high, is it? I don't know. What's that? Wavelength, I think. And what's that one there? Can't quite read it. The period. So they used to think they were mythical. So if they had freak waves even back in the old wooden ship days, a lot of those could easily got sunk compared to our iron ships. So here we got one on 1861, a sighting. I guess these are stories, unconfirmed ones. So until they had it on video, which was probably that one up here, 19 got it on video. That's the first time they could confirm it. So it goes a bit back a fair distance here. Eyewitness accounts. I'll post that in the side there for anyone that's interested in reading through it all. But it makes sense that the first one would be a lighthouse. Lighthouse on Eagle Island, because a lot of these islands can be very small. Off the island, struck by a large wave that smashed 23 panels, washing some of the lamps down the stairs and damaged beyond repair. The reflectors were broken glass. In order to damage the uppermost portion of the lighthouse, water would have to mount a seaside cliff measuring 40 meters and further 26 meters of the lighthouse structure. So that means that wave was 65 meters high. Wow. That would be scary. So imagine if a meteorite crashed into the sea off the coast of New Zealand and you had a 1,000 feet high wave coming towards you. Like that movie I was talking about, the Deep Impact movie, where they actually show you how it happens. It's a good movie. Go and watch it. Dig it up on the stream somewhere or something. Download it from iTunes or Amazon. And they're talking about another one down here, 165 meters. What's that one saying here? 75. Lake Superior even got a freak wave. The ship went down without a distress signal in a Canadian water 15 nautical miles. Is 43 feet. So what's it saying? At the location of the wreck, the water is for 530 feet, 160 meters deep. All the crew members perished. That's a bugger. So no one reported how high it was then. Yeah, so enough on that one, I suppose. Go and have a read if you want to. Still quite interesting though. Have you seen some of those mega ships they have now? I wonder if they're safe from these freak waves. Let's have a look. I'll just do a search, see if we can find mega ship. See how high they are, because there needs to be what? It needs to withstand a 65-meter high wave by the sounds of it. Are you going to check it out, man? Yep. Cool. So, mega. The point about in the future that we might actually be living in undersea bases or cities, cruise ship. Which is kind of UFO-y if you think about it. Because if you're an alien on our planet, the best place to be would be in the sea, because most of the planet's ocean, and only 1% of the ocean actually has been explored. So that means 99% of it could have stuff in it that we don't even know about, apart from what the satellites map on Google Maps, I guess, contour maps. That's the best we're going to get, I guess. New giant cruise ships launching in 2018. So let's see if they've got some pictures. It's taking a while to load. Is it 12:30 already? So I started at 10-ish. 10:15, I think it was. Look how high this one is. See if we can get a bigger picture of it. That's just crazy. Makes it look like it's top heavy, eh? A lot of what they call ballast, a lot of lead weight in the bottom of the boat. But I understand all of them use like a counterweight on a pendulum, so it never rocks with the big seas, and it's always like rock solid. There was a good documentary series like Mega Structures, but I think it was called like Mega something, subset of that show, Mega Vehicles or something. And there's a good documentary showing how they were building it and how it can withstand all this crazy stuff. It's got 12 photos here, is it? 1 of 42. Okay. So can you see people on the deck? I wonder what Titanic would look like next to it as a comparison, because that would be handy. Probably come up to there on it. Titanic. Probably be a little ship. Imagine trying to into port and not scratch it. Had to get sacked as a pilot. Wow, look at that. It's got swimming pool on the deck here, is it? How can we zoom in? What's that, glass panel or a waterfall coming down? I don't know. Is that a waterfall going to the pool? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deck layers there. So that's 7 stories there. And that looks like the same depth as that there. So that's at least another 7 going down, 7 or 8. And then you got under the water, which is going to be a fair distance underwater, I'd say, with all the engine bits. So that makes it about 14, 15 stories high there. Then another layer here, another one here, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then it looks like it's higher up, even up here. So it could be 20 stories high. So how many meters would that be? Room height's about, let's see, 4 meters, is it? So that make it 80 meters high. So the biggest freak wave probably smack into the side here, probably somewhere. Normally you got the Saudi Arabia government that seems to, yeah, the perfect storm was a good one. Do good stuff. What have we got here? And what's that mean? We did what? WWG1 move man. I'm not sure what that means. How many people got left watching? Oh, we got 3 still watching. So what other pictures did we have? Costs a lot of money go on these ships. Some relative of mine, they often save up over a couple of years, and they do a cruise from Australia to New Zealand. I think it's something like $500 a head a day, and the trips only last a couple of weeks. So what's that turn out to be? So we're talking about $1,000 a day, and that includes food, I think, and but it doesn't include free gifts, and it doesn't include playing the slots machines on them. So that would be like 20 grand to come over on a ship just for a couple of weeks. But they were talking about building these mega ships where people can actually, they just live on them continuously, and the ship just goes around the world to different ports. Sounds like a good lifestyle. Billionaire. Here's the side view of it, is it? Or is that another one? Oh no, it's the side view of the same one. Wow, look how many rooms there are there. So how many rooms, can't zoom in more. So how many people would they have on it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And that's in that little small block there. 24, 24, 24, 24. So that's almost 100 rooms, and looks like they would be another 4 in the middle and another one on the other side. So times it by 5. 500 individual rooms at least. That's just crazy. And you'd have 2 people, maybe more each room. So where's all the life rafts? I suppose a lot of it will be... so those life rafts are quite big. They would be like... they wouldn't be like what we used to years ago on a ship that we come over. These would be like their own like a cruise ship in itself. It would be like one of those big yachts that you get coming into port sometimes. So you can see how long it is. It's equivalent to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms long. So that would be a room. Each room looks like it's about 10 meters near the window balcony. So that would be like 60 meters long, just the lifeboat there. But they would have also inflatable ones. Wow, look at that. That gives a better idea. Maybe I said 4. Looks like it might only be 1 with maybe some other rooms in the back here. With probably a stairwell in the middle. So it's not going to be 500 rooms. It's going to be 200, 250 maybe. Still quite a lot. Heliport. Another swimming pool. Yeah. It's just crazy. Now showing pictures how it's built. I'll post it down the side if you want to have a go flick through all the photos. I won't do it now. So these are the ships they're building in our year. That's just crazy. Has it got any stats here? Let's have a look. 4,000, 5,000 with crew, 4,000 capacity. So how's that? 250 rooms. Oh, that was on the top deck that we were counting. We didn't even count the ones below, because there was 8 stories below as well, wasn't there? For the cheap passengers that didn't get the nice balcony views. So yeah, so it is. When I said 500, that's about right. With 4 people, that would be 2,000. So there must be a lot more rooms hidden that we're not. Well, I've sort of miscalculated somewhere. What's this here? What's 40 meters high? I don't understand. The new seaside class of ships include an extra width. Oh, right. Another 40 meters and another 40 meters high. Bridge of size, glass floored catwalk, full size bowling alley, and longest zip line at sea. Site C is selling Caribbean. So there you go. Looks like it leaves out of Miami. I suppose they would have all the ports for that size ship. It would be too big to come to New Zealand, I think. I wonder how much fuel it takes to run. So that's another ship here, is it? Oh, right. That's got a lot of rooms as well, you can see. But not as many. 200 less. So that means it's got a lot of staff members then, because it's almost 4,000 passengers. That means there's 1,000 staff members on board that. That's just crazy. Anyway. But it looks like it's big enough. The new ones are big enough to handle those freakways by the sounds of it. They had one on that 2012 movie. Ever seen that one? That's quite a good movie as well. What's it got? That guy, what's his name? Nicolas Cage, I think it was. Wasn't he playing Alex Jones? They had he was playing some sort of crazy Alex Jones character. Was it? Oh no, that was another actor in a camper van, and he gets wiped out by the what is it? Explosion. Was it a meteorite impact? No, or volcano explosion? I can't remember now. I have to rewatch it. Anyway, guys, I don't want to make this live too long. I know we could keep going all night looking at this sort of stuff. I might just wrap up now and let you get to bed. It's nearing 1 o'clock in New Zealand. I think it's mostly Australians and Kiwis tonight, isn't it? Watching. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed what I was doing anyway. And I'll probably do another stream in a couple of days' time. think of another UFO things. I've actually, I might actually do go through New Zealand sightings. I've yet to get back to doing more of that. I did the 1950s in an episode, but I'll do some of the newest ones that were released from the Ministry of Defence. I'll do that in the next live stream, I think, and read out some of the crazy stories that come from New Zealand. So I'll do a New Zealand one next. They could be, I think a lot of them weren't debunked as well. So, but obviously video for many of them, but there'll be good stories to have a look at anyway. So I'm going to wind down now, and I'll look at preparing for that New Zealand one instead of just doing debunks or whatever. Although I might do a news clip at the front and do a quick debunk if there's some that need to be debunked. So yeah, come on, guys, and sleep well. I'll just cue up my end music here, and play the anthem. A little bit of it. Please like and share, and send people that want to find out that real UFO stuff and not fantasy channel. Hopefully someone's got some videos out there that they want to share with us at some stage. So good night, and catch you again, Jamal and TRC. I haven't seen him around lately. No doubt he'll watch it offline.